You know, Marty. Get it, Bobby. And actually, the architect, all of our expectations.
Oh my gosh. Hello.
So, and just so you know, I don't know if you know anything about Tiny Kittens. We're broadcasting live on the internet right now, so they can see. And well, this is what they see, and they can hear you.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
it's so I don't know. There's like a chat, and people are talking about all the stuff. So
That's pretty cute.
So I don't know if you guys can like sort of climb over this, or I can make it lower so it's a little bit easier. But the kittens have gotten really good at escaping.
Ah,
And
yeah.
as you can see, there's lots of stuff in this room.
Oh, no.
So I tried to sort of keep them somewhat contained.
Two artists. One she had named Thor. They'd both been abused cats. And the littlest guy was Thor. And he couldn't land on his feet. Like he was mentally, he'd been, I think, abused enough that it affected his brain.
Aww.
And so I remember, like, my bed was on the ground, boxes and whatever, but on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
He'd do this, and he wouldn't land on his feet. You're like, oh my God. So I love that his name was Thor, because it's such a tough name.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow. It's like,
Oh, where are you going?
yeah, I can't keep them contained anymore. The heart of tiny kittens.
Oh, it's really hard. And this is my office too, obviously. So it's like impossible to get things done. But they're so cute. Yeah. Right? And they're there. Being adorable. So I don't know if you want to, where you want to go, what you want to do. You just let me know and I will do it. These guys are going to be leaving on Friday. We're all very sad.
How many cats have you ever had in here at one time?
Well, in this house, in this house, I think we had 17 at one point, which is ridiculous, but we did this kitten roundup in the summer because there were all these kittens being left in boxes and dumpsters and stuff. So we did for like one day, just bring your cats to us and we'll take them. And so we ended up getting 50 cats and kittens. And one group, it was a grandmother, her two daughters, and their 3 brand new litters of kittens. And they were all sick, and so I took all 13 of those. That's a lot. Are you gonna just totally destroy? Every morning I come in and it's kind of reconfigured in like a special new way.
So what's your plan? Get I like this guy and his little mustachy thing.
I know. So this is Marvel, aka Professor Pudge Blossom, and he has a cleft nose and lip. And so he was unable to nurse, so I had to bottle feed him for 5 weeks around the clock. So he had been born not.
You did a good job. He's a
rescued.
little roly-poly.
He's my little Pudge Blossom. He's very special. He's very adorable. He goes, yeah, anyway, he's very special.
He's like,
I know. He does know. There's a commercial for the Lucy Pet Foundation. They do mobile spay and neuter clinics, and they picked him to be one of the cats in their commercial for the kitten bowl. What? Oh, buddy. So they sent him a little jersey.
What do you think, Julian? This one right on the top, maybe. establishing shot, maybe just angle up a little bit to get more of the. Yeah. I'll shut that all the time.
Not when you're doing it. Yeah, just ugly. Unless I'm
That's a
like-
good shot. That one.
Scampy. They have little crime scene. They totally ignore. So this is the theme for this litter is the Kittens of Oz, Dorothy and the Kittens of Oz. So that's why everything's like people send them like blankets and toys and things. It's all Wizard of Oz. Like someone made little sheets for the doll bed.
Do you want to do the interview?
Oh my god, I just want to play with the kitten.
Do you want one?
I do. I do.
Take that
Let me
one.
take
Take that one.
This is Ozzy.
Oh, I have a cat at home.
Really?
I don't know what to do.
We make it when Cheetah somewhere. Cheetah, come back.
Hey, Cheetah. Right. Oh, no.
So will you guys introduce yourself? The camera's over there. You don't have to go on the camera, but just tell the people who you are. They're asking, who are these people? What are they doing?
Oh, my name's Mel, and I'm a Langara journalism student, and we're here to do a story on these adorable kittens.
Good job.
I'm obviously maintaining my journalistic objectivity here.
I know. That's right. Don't get sucked in by the kittens.
Oh, you're cute too.
Hey, Henry. Oh, Henry.
Hi, monkey. So yeah, I don't know if we want to start sort of the interview. We could sort of just talk about, the society, etc. And
Okay.
so because we have this camera, this is going to be our sound. So it's going to be
Okay. Do you want me to stand up, sit down?
where is it? In the kitchen. The kittens is good.
Sure.
There is sound here, but it's not very good. I think it does pick up. It's just a matter of it's going to be the distance might be better. So
Munchkin was only 66 grams when she was born, so she's come a long way. She was half bald and she was born premature. So she had bottle feeding too. She's very cute.
you like living here?
There's one little poet we have a conversation with you. This one.
Like, I don't know. That's a bit weird. What that thing is.
Oh, it's very scary. What do you think?
So,
Now I have to go. I have to go find all the kittens.
yeah. Over here. Nice. Lots of fun stuff to play with.
I know. Someone, another foster mom in LA, actually threw us a kitten shower, and so everyone sent all sorts of stuff. And because this is kind of a small house, so
Why don't we do some of the interview first, and then we can do some establishing shots, because otherwise
Sure.
we're just going to be like
Chasing them, herding cats.
Herding cats.
Where's my little Pudge Blossom?
I think one of them will fit in my purse.
I know, they might. They might. It's been tried before.
Oh, Toto. How little are they?
So these guys are about, they're born November 17th, so they'll be, I guess, 11 weeks on Monday. 11 weeks old.
Wow.
So they're they're actually big for me, but probably small for people who don't see kittens all the time. And we were having a little kitten bowl earlier, so they're a little bit more of that. Aren't you?
Was that? I saw a photo on Twitter earlier of the kitten bowl. Was that you guys?
Oh, well, the Hallmark Channel does like
Okay.
a real kitten bowl. We were just having some fun with it. Yeah. Some very rambunctious fun. Yes.
I know it's too scary, isn't it?
Henry's not very brave. Hi, Miss Dorothy. Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful.
It's great.
Where are you going? What are you making?
So how did you get started
With fostering?
fostering? Yes.
So I'm actually American, and I ended up moving to Canada to get married. And for the first year that I was here, I wasn't able to work, so I was waiting on a work permit. So I ended up volunteering for the local animal shelter, Langley Animal Protection Society, and fostering kittens. And then just started broadcasting them on the internet a little bit shortly after that.
Awesome. And so you're saying there are 22,000 approximately abandoned and feral cats in Langley?
Yeah, so Dorothy, who's the mom, she is a great example. She's one of the abandoned feral and stray cats. We have about 22,000 just in Langley, which is kind of a staggering number, right? So those are the cats that have been abandoned. We call them unowned cats. And there are an additional almost 7,000 cats that are owned and that are not spayed and neutered. So almost 29,000 cats having babies. We are expecting about 80,000 kittens just this year in Langley, which is crazy. So the majority of which are unwanted. So.
And where do these cats come from? Like they're found, people find them outside on the street?
So it's a combination of things. Feral cats are actually cats that are wild, that have never socialized with humans. And so people rarely see them because they're nocturnal. They're very scared of humans. So they've gotten pretty good about being undetected. The other cat, we get a lot of cats that are dumped. People just don't want them, or they don't bother to get their cat spayed and neutered, and suddenly their one cat becomes 8, and then they just dump them off. So that's really how it starts, and then it's amazing how quickly they multiply at that point. So we're trying to really get ahead of the exponential growth. We're kind of at a point where we have to really step up our game and start spaying and neutering more cats, so that we don't just end up with a crisis that's so out of control that we can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm. Is that when you made the decision to start raising money for this project?
Yeah, so I've been now a volunteer at LAPS for about 3 years, and I've seen sort of over the last 3 years more and more cats coming in, and specifically more and more sick cats coming in, and it really puts a strain on our shelter and animal control operations, because we don't have the space to safely accommodate sick cats without having them potentially spread disease to other cats, dogs, and even people.
Right.
And so we end up having to put them in some of the dog spaces, and the dogs, we can't like give the dogs a bath in the grooming room if there are kittens in there. It becomes very challenging. So I've kind of, because I'm so involved there, I've had the opportunity to see all of the things that happen as a result of too many cats coming in, and still, see the sheer number of cats that are still being born, and, how many people don't actually know that they should spay and neuter. It's just, something needs to be done, so.
Yeah, people aren't taking care of the cats.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you take in and foster kittens for how long normally? Like 12 weeks or so?
Yeah, it kind of depends. So these guys, Dorothy came in, she was still pregnant, she was quite sick. And so I often will have a pregnant mom come in and then have her through the birth, and then the baby's growing up, and then spays and neuters, and then adoption. So these guys are going up for adoption on Friday, or they're going home on Friday. They have their homes already. So it's usually about 10 to 12 weeks.
And how often throughout the year do you do that?
Well, typically we have a kitten season that starts kind of in February, March, and goes through October, November. And that's when really the mama cats are having babies. This year, it's unusual to have kittens at this time of the year.
We'll bleep that out.
Little censor box. It's unusual to have kittens at this time of year, but again, we're kind of seeing our kitten seasons get longer and longer. So I'm always joking around that I'm going to take a break between litters, and then I don't think I've actually taken a break it's probably been 2 years since I've taken like a long break between, because just more cats keep coming in. So.
And then Councillor Richter was telling me that there is, she says a cat house, but that there have been $225,000 raised towards a new, it's a medical isolation unit or something?
Yeah, so we call it the ISOASIS, and it's basically an isolation ward so that we can prevent sick and contagious cats from ever entering the main shelter building. And by doing that, we can protect the public and dogs and cats that are healthy. And we'll have the space to take in more cats, and to also do some really cool community events, like we can do a spay-neuter day, we can do TNR, which is trap, neuter, return, or adopt, which is where we go out and bring in cats and spay and neuter them. And then, so really increase the impact we can have on the cat population. So we're really hopeful that we can partner with the Township of Langley to help us make this a reality. And because we believe in it so strongly, we have such a great community supporting us, we have been able to raise a significant portion of the funds. So we're bringing about 60% of the funding to the table, and the township owns the property, and they will own the building. So we feel like it's a pretty good yeah.
And so are there certain counselors that are really behind this, or anybody outspoken saying we should put the funding elsewhere, or?
It's always hard to know what's going to happen when they actually get to the table. We have had several counselors who have been longtime supporters of LAPS, and the mayor actually participated in our kitten roundup that we had last year, along with Councillor Fox, Councillor Sparrow, and Councillor Qualley. And the mayor ended up adopting the first 2 cats that he rescued, which was I thought was really neat.
That's cute.
Yeah. So we are fortunate. We've had a really great relationship with the township over the past several years. And so, we're hopeful that they'll continue to support us in this project we have kind of a unique situation because of all of the global attention, and we're so visible globally. A lot of other shelters will look to us for kind of guidance and to lead the way and come up with new ways to do things. So, we feel like we have a little bit more of a responsibility or an obligation to kind of raise the bar for how cats are perceived in a community, how they're valued, how they're cared for, new programs to sort of educate people. So we think that benefits everyone in our community and, kind of globally too. So
what might the public not know about why such a shelter is needed?
That's a great question. I think it's hard for people who aren't in the shelter environment on a day-to-day basis to really appreciate, what happens when you drop a cat off. It's kind of a mystery what happens. You drop the cat off and then it goes up for adoption, right? Or you go in to adopt a cat and you see, oh, this is a healthy, adorable kitten. You don't know all of the work that went into getting it there. Yeah. So for us, I think helping people to understand kind of how much effort and love and time and money goes into every little creature that comes into the shelter, and also some of the kind of horrible situations that they come from. I think that would raise kind of the appreciation of why this is important.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? Just some of the cases you come
Sure,
across?
yeah. So last summer is a great example because we had, prior to our unwanted kitten roundup, we had a box of 10 kittens that somebody just taped into a box and left at a dumpster and out in Langley. And luckily, a good Samaritan heard something in the box and kind of opened it up. 3 of them ran away. 1 was unconscious, and 6, they were clearly in distress. So they rushed them to labs. We rushed them to the vet and were able to save 6 of them. And about a week later, we had a Rubbermaid tote full of kittens that someone left in a park. And this was in the summer, so it was incredibly hot outside. So they had literally minutes left when we found them. And then someone dumped a box with a mom and her cats on 200, just out of a car in the middle of the street. And we're like, either people don't know that that they have options that are better than this, or they don't care, or it's too much work, or there's something missing here that this is happening over and over and over again. And, we also thought about how many of these boxes are we not finding, right? So we all just kind of looked at each other and we're like, we have to do something to try to at least let people know there are options. And maybe if this person doesn't care about cats, maybe their neighbor will see what's going on and, help them out.
Does it seem to be increasing, sort of finding, like the numbers are increasing over the last couple of years?
Yeah, of cats and kittens.
Yeah.
We took in 34% more kittens last year than we did the year before, which is a huge increase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many kittens is that?
So I think it was 300, and we take in about 370 cats and kittens normally in a year. So it was just kittens. It was over 300. So we, a lot of that, we are a no-kill shelter, so we're limited by capacity, and we only take in as many cats as we can actually care for. And so when we did our kitten roundup and we took in 50 extra cats and kittens, it was kind of incredible. We didn't know what to expect as far as how people would react, but we did a very little bit of advertising because we were terrified that we were going to get flooded with cats. But just the tiny bit of advertising that we did, 50 cats and kittens is a lot. And we ended up giving out 60-some free spay and neuter certificates too. So
is that sort of a catch-22? Like, you want people to know about you, and the work that you do, but so easy to get overwhelmed? How do you balance
Absolutely. No, that's actually very insightful of you to pick up. But it's a huge problem that we want so badly to raise awareness and do public education. But every time we do, there's a flood of cats and kittens that come in, and we have to turn some of them away at some point, and it's really heartbreaking to have to do that. And so, you know, it's a catch-22. We do the best we can, and lab staff is incredible. They end up with, you know, they take them home, they bring them to work. We had a kitten that was really sick and had like a really smelly infection, but one of the staff, she like made a special pouch and wore her under her shirt so that she would have contact with another living creature, even though she smelled really bad the whole time. But that's kind of like an example of how great the staff are and how they just go so far above and beyond. And the volunteers do too. And so that really, you know, that helps increase our capacity to a certain degree. But
And how will the new isolation shelter help that, will it?
so yeah, that will be incredibly helpful, because our biggest constraint is when we get sick cats in. So for example, ringworm is something that's highly contagious from cats to dogs to humans. So we can't put a ringworm cat in someone's home for fostering. We can't the staff can't take them home because it's a risk to their family and their animals. So they actually have to be contained in a very specific room. And the way LAPS does it now, all of the containment or the ISO rooms that they use border onto very public hallways. So the kittens want to play, so they're always putting their paws under the doors, their contagious little paws, and like the kids are walking by and want to play with them. But LAPS does a great job. Like, they disinfect constantly, but it's so inefficient, the amount of time they spend disinfecting. And it's, again, once we're out of like cat spaces, then we start taking over the dog spaces. And once we're out of dog spaces, then we just can't take any more in. So it's really hard.
How many spaces are there at the lab center?
So we can take in we have spaces for about 30 cats, give or take. So we also have quite a few foster homes. So healthy animals can go into foster care until they're ready to be adopted. But 30 cats is about all we can handle at the shelter.
And where do they go when you can't take any more?
So when we can't take them in at all, we just have to ask the people to either take them home, and we have a food bank, so we can send them home with food so that they can at least feed the cat, and we give them advice on how to, you know, build a shelter. We will support them however we can, but we just have to hope that someone will help them, or they'll do better on their own than they will coming to the shelter and being euthanized. So a lot of people take in stray cats. So, you know, we consider it the lesser evil, but it's still really hard.
So what would you like the public to know about the work that you do and sort of your hope for this shelter?
I think the most important thing is that every cat has value, and spaying and neutering is the biggest thing you can do to help with the problem. And there are programs available if you call your local shelter, SPCA or LAPS. Most of them have low cost or free spay neuter options. A lot of people don't know those exist. So I think spaying and neutering, raising awareness about that, and just knowing that in Langley we are trying to do more, and we're trying to be creative and kind of on the leading edge of cat welfare, and seeing if we can really address the problem in a really humane, compassionate, but also efficient and effective way.
I mean, looking at you here with this pile of sleepy cats, it's hard not to see like the value of cats, and like they're adorable.
I know.
But what would you say to somebody who doesn't see the value and maybe doesn't want public money going towards a shelter?
Yeah, I think the argument there is that as a society, we do have a responsibility to care for those that can't care for themselves. And we don't want to be seen as a community that accepts boxes of kittens in dumpsters. You know, I don't think that reflects well on our community, having that reputation. So I would hope that at some level, we could appeal to people's sense of humanity and compassion, and also the fact that we really have made an effort to minimize the tax burden by contributing 60% of the cost to an asset that's 100% owned by the taxpayer. So, you know, really that's a great deal. Like, considering that most of the other, well, probably all of the other projects are 100% funded by the public.
And is this the cost to set up the shelter initially? Or?
That's the cost to build it. And then LAPS has already committed to paying all of the maintenance and ongoing operational costs. So there won't be any additional. It's really just the initial capital investment that we're looking for a little help. We also want the township to kind of buy into the project and kind of, you know, partner with us in making this happen. So that's what we're going for. Everybody.
And so you mentioned before that there's some diseases that are transmittable from animal to human.
Yes.
How is the shelter is going to help?
Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely. So a couple of years ago, we had some ringworm, some kittens coming with ringworm, and they ended up, a lot of the staff ended up getting ringworm. Someone had taken them home, and she ended up getting ringworm, so volunteers, and then her whole family and all their pets. And then it just spreads and spreads and spreads from there. So it's really a situation that since then, LAPS has worked really, really hard to make sure that hasn't happened again. But the way the shelter is set up, when people bring cats in, they go into the public entry. They go into they put the cats on the reception desk, and then they wait there for as long as it takes for a staff member to become available, and they take them to one of the dog rooms to do the intake exam. So this whole, you know, they don't know if they're contagious that whole time, and they're potentially contaminating everything that they touch on the way. And so as soon as they find out that they're potentially contagious, they immediately, you know, just drop everything and disinfect and do containment. But there's still a risk during that intake period that really is unavoidable. There's nothing we can do about it except put them in a separate building.
Okay.
So, is the city, I've started to shut this up for now, but how is the city of Langley, like, do they partner up with the township ever, or is that completely different?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question too. The city of Langley, so LAPS is the contracted animal control provider for the township of Langley, and they operate the township's animal shelter. So they are also contracted to provide animal control services for the city. We have applied for grants probably the last 7 years from the city to help out with some of the other stuff, like the animal welfare programming, and I think we've been approved maybe twice. So we do try to get them to, we do hope that we can increase our lobbying efforts there and get a little bit more buy-in, but they have a limited budget and have not in the past been very receptive to this sort of project. So really the township's been wonderful, and since it is their property and their facility that we're improving, it makes sense, you know, that they should participate. We are, though, hoping to get the city to participate at some point. We have a couple of ideas on how to do that.
So what's your next step then?
So our next step for the Ice Oasis is we did a presentation on Monday, just kind of overview of the project and why we need it.
Presentation?
It was on the 26th to council. Okay. And now the budget meetings are February 23rd. And that's when council will be debating and deciding what gets into the budget for 2015. And so that's when we will be hoping that they will include our project in the budget. So without that, we really won't be able to proceed. So it'll be back to the drawing board.
Will helping you help save is it the township of Langley? I'm sorry. Oh my goodness.
Buddy.
In the long run, will it help save them money?
Oh, absolutely. That's a great question also. So yes, we get a lot of animal control calls about cats, even though there are no cat bylaws and there's no enforcement about cats. We still get calls about cats. Buddy. When he wakes up, he needs hugs.
This one's like, what's going on?
Sorry. Oh, buddy. He needs hugs immediately. No. Sorry. Totally got distracted by kittens. It happens a lot. Great. To me. Buddy. So yeah, I totally forgot what we were.
So how will this sort of help save the town money?
Thanks. Everyone on chat is probably laughing because I do this all the time. I'll just like, a cat walks by and I just trail off and they're like, what?
I think he's down to calling. That's what this is.
I know, it's so wonderful.
Cat call?
No. Oh, buddy.
But yeah, sort of prevention versus.
Yeah. So I mean, there are certainly costs. Feral cats, abandoned cats, present a nuisance to people. They're loud. They have the fighting behavior, the peeing, aggressive behavior, that sort of thing. We also have people who the avid birders and wildlife people don't like having all of these feral cats everywhere because obviously they hunt and they have an impact on the wildlife. And also, of course, the public health risk, things like ringworm, which are not, fatal potentially, but are certainly a problem. Toxoplasmosis, even rabies is possible, although not likely. So there certainly are advantages to being able to keep the cat population humanely under control. And, again, just the kind of social benefits of being a community that does not condone cruelty to animals and irresponsible pet ownership, I think is also a benefit just to our society.
Great, I'm gonna get some kittens, some closer shots of these cats. They're so cute.
I know.
Very hard. Objectivity here.
I know. If you, where's the? Oh, that stick with the ball and the feather thing that's under the. Yep. If you shake that, they will look at you. Hit me. Oh, what's that? I was going to say something. Oh, buddy. Do you want me to get out of here and
No, it's good. And then shot. Should get some sound too. The kittens making noise.
They do make noise.
It makes a noise. I know
Sometimes
that.
they do.
We'll try to do it differently. Yeah. I'm not the microphone for now. There. Got some. Hopefully that was good. So how old is Dorothy? She looks like quite a young cat.
She is. She's a teen mom.
Now she's a teen mom.
She's about a year, so
Oh wow.
a lot of people don't know cats can get pregnant as early as 4 months old.
Oh wow.
And a lot of vets will recommend that you don't spay or neuter till 6 months old. So that results in quite a few teen moms coming in.
Oh, so cute.
Oh.
Look at his sleepy face.
big morning. She's very playful. Aren't you, little mama? She just had her spay a few days ago. But she's still pretty playful. It's Dorothy.
Was she out on her own?
So, her family kicked her out for coming home pregnant, and then the neighbors took her in. And actually, the neighbor's cat is the baby daddy.
It's always the neighbor cat.
I know, right? He's a big, fluffy tabby cat, which we're trying to get him neutered too. But so they realized that she was getting more and more pregnant, and they wouldn't be able to care for her and her babies. So they I went and picked her up and brought her back here. And it's a really good thing that I got her when I did, because she got really cold with it. She had fleas and a flea allergy, but she had so many tapeworms that the babies had like no nutrition, and we were quite concerned for a while, but we were able to turn it around.
This one's just asleep.
when he's done, he's done.
I didn't know there was a genuine internet cat celebrity in here.
I know, he's quite famous.
You guys are cute too. We'll play with you.
They are cute.
I'll get one that's lower, I think.
That's
That's
awesome.
just on
I
top.
might want to get it from behind and
Yeah, just because I have to not have that in some movie.
We could try to move that, but then they would scatter. It's always a challenge. I don't know why they became obsessed with the toothbrush today. We're having so much fun with the toothbrush.
tooth health is very important.
I know. It's good. I got some photos for some PSAs.
Oh no.
I'm always doing like spay and neuter PSAs, and now I can do toothbrush ones. Oh, kid. Ozzy gets a little chatty sometimes. Do you have anything to say, Ozzy? And Toto, he's a little chatty.
So you have a danger of running out of cat names yet?
No, actually, so for these guys, I just picked the theme, and then I actually did. Oh, now there's two. I did naming rights by donation, so we raised actually quite a bit of money. So people picked the names as long as they were according to the theme. Not for all of them, but for a couple of them. Yeah, everybody kind of participates in the.
Where would be position to go? I'm just trying to think, so it's not that's the camera there, right?
Yeah, you can block it if you want to. That's totally fine.
No, I was thinking if we were right here, we might not be in it, right?
If you put the tripod
Now
there
there's
and then set
three.
it up high over top of it,
Now
then
there's
you'll
three
get good lighting as well.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. So bad.
I know.
Let's go set. Why can't
In the way or
out of
the
the
way?
way?
You can
Reporter.
you can be in the way. It doesn't matter. You can be in the way. They're used to having their view blocked. Right, guys?
Ah.
You know, I'll take this. Do you want yes. I know, wait. Here, I'll help you. Oh, Marvy's asleep.
I'll just take a. It's just the one's so dark. You can't see him until he
Oh.
opens his eyes.
I know. It's so hard to photograph black cats. Especially when it's a black cat and a light colored cat. Three of them used to fit in that basket. No problem. Oh no, Cheetah's gonna try to get in. Oh, Cheetah.
Can't
them. Oh, he's yawning. It's so cute.
Wow, they're adorable.
Okay, kittens.
Get ready to rumble.
Oh, no. Kitten.
Football time. Go.
Cheetah. Kittens.
And it's hard the pink thing keeps from getting in the shot.
I know.
It's okay though. It's color.
I take like 4,000 million photos and get one that turns out. So. It's... Do you want me to move?
No, it's good. You can see it, but just can you do a few stills? Can you get someone to find one of it?
Yeah, but I don't know if that really good.
Kitten.
So you've got this bed here. Are
Yeah.
you gonna build like a full scale like cat doll house?
I have tons of cats. This is like an American Girl doll bed from Etsy. I know I should do like I used to have little cat furniture, but I had a litter of kittens and ringworms, so I had to throw a bunch of stuff away. But I have tons of, like, sometimes they like to go camping. Oh my god. In their little tent. Which is funny.
People that adopted them, they wouldn't mind if I just took one.
They would hunt you down. Some of them are probably watching right now.
Yeah, they're like, what did you say to me?
Yeah.
They don't want
I
this
know.
one. He's got a piece of fluff on him.
I know.
That's never going to work out. Oh, monkey.
One of the benefits of having the kitten cam, is I had 31 applications for these guys. So they all go in pairs, which is great, and they go to really great homes that really value them. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, good job, Henry. Can we see?
Picture of you being a cat before you're saying,
Oh, gosh.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So is this a pretty standard size litter? Like, or
Yeah. Yep. My litters have been, I think the smallest has been 5 kittens and the biggest has been 7. The average, they say, is 4 kittens. But
our was a little bit busier.
I know.
The neighbor cat.
She certainly was. They can have multiple dads and lots of.
Very cute. Awesome. That's really cute. I love that.
I know the little.
Well, that's for
cats.
like kids even, yeah.
I know, it's so fun. And when they're really wound up, then they tackle each other, and it's like pouncing and the tent collapses and just went inside and.
Flashing light.
That's not how you camp.
I know.
You're doing it wrong.
Adorable kittens.
Geo.
Very cute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think so. I think we should get, so how many we bought, we bought mostly clothes shops? Should we do some?
We've got, well, lots from before, but,
I wonder if I could actually.
There are 834 people watching.
Perfect. Sunday activity.
I
I'm
know.
so glad we're doing this. Thank you for having us.
yeah,
Thank you for coming. It's always
The
fun.
other one's more like, it's a good thing we're on the internet, otherwise I'd like jump in there and lose all my life.
Roll around, and then
Roll
people
around.
always want to come and get in the kitten pile.
You can try and get, I mean, I don't want to like, make them move around, otherwise I'd say that our frames were, I think
We
should
can
get
move
one
them.
from the other side. Because otherwise it's all from this
Yeah.
angle, like when you
Yeah.
well, I think even over there if you want to go over there, it's that cross.
We can move stuff around too if you want.
We've probably done that.
I should have probably taken the litter boxes out.
I know I'm gonna come and reach for you and pick you up. Do you want to trust that one high? Switch my shirt. You were thinking now, or just wonder. She's like, I agree with. We've been here the whole bunch of thing.
Get up.
That just may be the thing. You just have to get in there. Everyone, the internet can see my legs. And actually, I think my socks may be inside out as well.
My socks usually don't match, and like one's inside out. They're used to it.
Their face will be in that way. Oh, look, I'm right. There's my legs. I'm on the internet.
They've seen me like in my pajamas in the middle of the night, bottle feeding. They've seen all sorts of things, so they're pretty used to it. Whatever you can throw at them, they've probably seen it.
Yeah, from this angle is good. Please.
Do you want me to move the kitten basket?
No, they're pretty cute there. Might be too. Oh no, I don't want to disturb you guys. Put you up there. Where should I put the kittens? Where should we put them? I don't want to like set up the shot. I want the light to be good. So maybe over here is good. I don't know. Up here. There we go.
You can move that thing too.
Looking at I can't see.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, a little bit with it. Oh, actually, right there is good. Right by the gate. I think that's good. I'm getting some right there. There. It's not recording right now though. Oh, hello guys. You guys are so cute. There you go. Don't ever grow any bigger than that basket.
I like music for
something.
They dance.
Can put some music on for sure.
That's a lot of people that are bit
It's gonna do you pull back.
like this. Naturally start doing that on its own.
I'll just hold it.
They're like, it's kind of nap time.
Okay, I'm surprised any of them are awake because they've had such a crazy morning.
Oh.
We should get a really close up of them sleeping, and then I'll try to get some sound of the purring. I think they look like they're purring.
We can try to make them purr.
Did you put your foot back down?
With the camera woman.
Too much in this zone.
It's good. It just knocks out our heads so they don't see us. Are you happy to be adopted?
Yeah, I need to have it right next to you on your phone.
The internet thinks I'm silly.
Oh no, they don't. They love it.
There we go.
Do you want to try this?
Purring. Who's the loudest purr?
Oh,
Nala.
Toto's got a pretty good purr. Marble has a pretty good purr.
I think I'm picking it up. Make some noise.
So comfy. So comfy.
These two will usually squeak when they wake up.
Why do they do that? It's just because they're just like.
I think they wake up and they usually just want a hug.
Oh, there's one in here.
Is there?
How'd you get in there?
That's the tiny one.
Wow.
Oh, Munchie. Oh, Manchica, what are you doing?
Oh, this is my this one.
Are you being scaredy?
Another shot for them.
Little cheetah. Oh, little cheetah. She's not as pretty as everybody else.
Yeah.
Little shot.
Just like back
And this one just got scared. The camera made a noise. You guys are famous.
That's not a very impressive pounce.
Yeah, action.
So is this your full-time job now? You take care of cats?
I wish it was a job. It's ended up, it is full time as far as the time it takes, but it's still volunteer. But so I'm a computer programmer, so I do some stuff on the side, but kittens have sort of taken over.
Yeah, that'd be a big time commitment for sure.
Oh, no. There's not a lot of money in kittens.
It's about 80,000.
I know, right?
Oh, you got it. Oh, good job.
They're very cute.
Yeah. Wow.
So are you gonna post, like, once you get everything put together, do you post it somewhere that I can share, or?
This one we can. When does this one due?
I think it's 2 weeks.
Okay, so yeah, we should have the finished project done in 2 weeks, and then depending on what we hear back from our instructor, we can probably.
Yeah, she's super cool though.
She's super cool.
Okay.
So she can. I think it's just going to be a short, sort of minute, 45-second bit.
Cool. So yeah, I'll keep you posted.
For sure.
I will.
Oh my gosh! Oh, listen to the sound. I hope it's good.
Good job. No one tripped.
No one just. Here, I'll give you one. Awesome, thank you. So you're talking with the mayor of the township. I know Schaefer is the city.
Yes.
It's
Jack Froze.
Jack Froze, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Jack Froze.
So Langley's two places. It's a township.
Yeah,
And
it's
a
kind of
city?
strange.
So we're in
This is
Fort
the
Langley,
township.
The township.
Yep. I guess Fort Langley would be considered a neighborhood of within Langley.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize, like, I was born and raised Langley, and then I haven't lived in Langley for almost 20 years. And I didn't realize the diversity between the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Well, I was raised in Brookswood, and then
Oh.
Kim was also telling me that, like, everything with Willoughby and stuff, she's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
there's the big petition to not do the same to Brookswood, because Brookswood
Yeah.
has 50% of all the trees.
Right. Yep.
So it's pretty crazy, because I love South Langley, like, go running around there. Where
Yeah.
it's like, trees, tall grass, farmhouses.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, then yeah, you get to Willoughby and Willowbrook area, and that's for me was what I didn't like. I'm like,
Yeah.
outside stores, and I mean, you're gonna have development, but I didn't realize the concentration of coniferous
Yeah.
trees in Brookswood, and then you have Walnut Grove, and then
Yeah. It is quite fascinating.
yeah,
All that stuff that's
very
going on.
different.
And balancing development with, infrastructure needs and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
like all
And
the
it's really-
overpasses and stuff, which are great, but transit seems a pretty interesting thing too.
Oh yeah.
Took
Oh
a
yeah.
trunk bridge out here the first time today,
Oh.
and that's gonna be interesting. I've got to figure out how to pay that.
Yeah, they email you.
No.
Yeah, they'll track you down.
I thought the bridge would be fancier, but
You just get a coffee.
The old one was like the patella, though. The old Fort Man was like the patella, so it is quite an upgrade. But I know I almost never take the number one. Oh my!
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, guys. And thank you guys out there in Tiny Kit Land.
Totally.